Welcome to the Epic Success Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Shannon Irvin. All right, we're back. Okay, I am going to be deep diving into a lot more of the nerdy science behind achievement. And this episode, I want to deep dive into why we lose motivation and steam and why you need to set systems instead of goals so that you can achieve results. In fact, I'm going to talk about how setting traditional goals is actually working against how you actually achieve. And it's crazy because we've been taught it since the beginning. Oh, smarter goals, like specific, measurable. But here's the thing, it puts our brain in a bind. So yes, a neuroscientist is telling you to stop setting goals. And I know it sounds completely crazy, but here's the thing. I want you to think about this. Have you ever felt so incredible when you sit down with that fresh, clean sheet of paper, the beginning of the year or the end of the year, you start writing down all your goals. I want this. I want a 6-figure business. I want a 7-figure business. I want to be speaking on stages. I want to write a book, right? All those things. You feel that rush of motivation, right? But here we are. If you're listening to this in February, just a few weeks later, and what are you feeling now? Do you still feel the same way? You're right back where you started, right? It's that feeling of being stuck and frustrated and not knowing. And here's the thing, it's not your fault. It's a shocking 91% of entrepreneurs feel lost about their next steps despite setting clear goals. That's according to the Forbes 2023 article. And as a neuroscientist, I can tell you exactly why this is happening. If we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin, the host of the Epic Success Podcast. We strive to bring you the latest tips, the latest tricks, and how you truly can create a year's worth of goals in just 67 days. This is the model and the method that your brain has around success. And it's my mission that every vision-driven entrepreneur, faith-driven, need to step into your calling kind of entrepreneur that wants to do it but can't figure out how, taps into this God-given system so that you can see the results and impact their lives fast. And here's the thing. There's fascinating neuroscience reason around why people get this exactly wrong. And you're not lacking discipline and you're not working hard enough. That's what we start telling ourselves, right? It's because you're falling into this neurochemical trap that's literally programming your brain to resist success. Yes, I said it. Your brain, the way it's naturally wired, works against setting goals, right? And I just want you to think about it like installing new software that runs behind the scenes, right? On automatic, making decisions effortless for you, right? And when we understand that that is possible, then doing it the old, antiquated, broken, against how your brain allows it way just seems silly. So I'm on a mission to shift your brain around the idea of setting goals. I want you to set systems, not goals. So what's going on here? First, like, why is your brain secretly sabotaging your success? And there is a shocking neurochemical process that keeps you in wanting instead of achieving. It's like literally having a hidden brake pedal you didn't even know was there. And there is a way to remove your subconscious's success limit. You can achieve it faster without relying on willpower, hustle, grind, motivation. Okay. And so the key here is really rewiring your brain for success on autopilot. So 90% of your decisions, your actions, and your results align effortlessly with your biggest goal. And I want to talk about what's going on in your brain right now. And I'll tell you through a story. You might have heard me tell this before, but last year I was at a golf tournament with my best friend, and she's super, super competitive, especially with me. Love her to death, right? We tied at the end, and she challenged me to a race back to the clubhouse in our golf carts. You should have seen her face when I zoomed past her. But here's the thing. She wasn't failing because of lack of effort. She wasn't not trying hard enough. She was giving it everything she had. But what she didn't realize is that her cart had a governor. It's a device that only allowed her to go 7 miles per hour. Mine didn't have one of those. And no matter how hard she pushed or tried, she couldn't go faster than that preset limit. That success switch in your brain is that limit. Think of trying to push two magnets together, right? The harder you push, the more resistance you feel. That's exactly what's happening in your brain every time you sit down and set traditional smarter goals. Every time you write, I want, my goal is, you're telling that part of your brain in your neural pathways, telling it, this is separate from who I am right now, and it's a threat. And it creates what we call a neurochemical separation response and a subconscious kind of speed limit that slows down your progress. So when you write down, I want to make $100,000 this year, or I want to get to 7 figures this year, your subconscious mind translates that into, I don't have, fill in the blank. It's focusing on the lack, not the achievement. And you didn't even realize it because that's how we've learned, right? This lack focused signal triggers a stress response in your brain. Isn't that crazy? It causes things like procrastination, overwhelm, overthinking, fear of failure. This is why people start strong but fall off as motivation fades. But here's where it gets exciting. You can totally bypass this system by setting systems instead of goals. So I'm going to break down these 3 levels of brain programming that makes all this possible. Okay, so level 1 is something we call the vision brain prime. It's like setting a GPS to your destination inside your brain. Most entrepreneurs get stuck here because they keep programming I want, or I would like, or it would be great if, which is constantly telling your brain, that GPS, that you don't have it and you don't know where to go. So it's reinforcing that spin cycle, that neurochemical spin cycle. So first of all, it's the vision brain prime. We've got to show your brain the GPS destination is safe. Second, we got to create is something called the mind matrix. This is where we remove that governor like my cart didn't have, right? Remember how I said 92% of your decisions come from your subconscious? So what that means is that your subconscious has a success limit installed and you're only ever accessing 8% of your true potential. What? Imagine what happens when you remove that limit entirely. That's the mind metrics. That's level 2. Okay, level 3 is success automation. This is where things get absolutely incredible. Let me give you a real example. We worked with an Olympic athlete, I tell this story a lot, who needed a new stroke technique. And using these exact brain priming methods, without ever getting in the pool, their muscle memory increased by 97% in just 60 days, confirmed by brain scans. All right, so what do we do? First, you want to do daily brain priming. This isn't visualization. Okay, it's rewiring your neural pathways to see success as your natural state. So the neurochemical cascade does not happen, slowing you down. It's like updating your operating system in your brain. Second, we want to employ success triggers. These are small environmental cues that activate your brain's automatic success pathways. And then third, I want you to think in the terms of implementation frameworks. We break down in 67 a year, we break down your big vision into these brain digestible micro wins. Every time you hit one of these small wins, your brain releases a dopamine strengthening your new success pathways. It's like building a success pathway in your mind. And here's really the big takeaway. Your brain isn't designed for traditional goals. It's designed for systems. And when you understand this, everything changes. You can finally flip that success switch on. You stop fighting against your brain's natural wiring. You intuitively feel it, don't you? That resistance around it. If you're wondering why this is the case, most people don't slow down to question why doing the same thing time and time again doesn't create the same results. Here's the thing. Just start by noticing where you say, I want instead of I am. Begin looking for those small wins to build that success pathway. And because when you align your brain's natural success patterns, extraordinary achievements become inevitable. It isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter with your brain's natural wiring. And now you know exactly how to do that. All right, that's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. Until next week, where we dive deeper into how do we flip this success switch on. That's what I have for you this week. Down in the link below, if you want to go deeper with this, we have a free training coming up where we really break down the specific steps of how do you create that automatic pathway? How do you remove the governor? And how do you create something through a model we call the 67-day year to get those micro wins so that you can start stacking success? All right. Until next week, that's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. Bye for now. Oh, wait a minute. Do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe. That would mean the world to me. And I always answer the comments down below. So please let me know what your biggest takeaways were, or what questions you have, and I'd be glad to answer them. And as a podcaster, it's like a big old warm hug when we get reviews, and I love sharing them on air. So if you enjoy this podcast, if this podcast is helping you grow and create business results, I would love for you to review us, give us a 5-star review, and tell us what you love about the podcast. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye for now.